Good morning. It's Friday. I'm going to wait here for some little children to meet me on the playground. I have a phrase in my head today, and as soon as I see the first person join me, we will get started. And I'm trying to do my thing here, be responsible, make sure I'm on the right page. There I am. Make sure I'm on the right page so that I can share out my video. I'm doing well today. I'm a lot more organized than I've been in a while. That's good. It's good for me to be organized. You have no idea. I'm not always very good at that. See if I can figure out how to share it from here. I say I'm organized, and I'm like, I can't figure out how to do this. So when you join, I see one. Thank you for joining me. It's time to go to the playground, isn't it? Oh, I know why. I'm trying to share again. I really need a secretary. So the words today are daydream believer. Let me give you that. And when I figure out how to do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, when I get my technology straight, we'll start talking about it. I'm giving people a chance to, I'm giving people a chance to gather. What I'm actually doing is giving myself, hi Luann, thank you for joining me. What I'm actually doing is trying to get myself organized in the process of waiting for people, because I don't want to get started too soon. I see one more, so we got two. Where we've got two or more, where I'm always good. I like to have 3 people. 3 is my favorite, and anybody else that shows up is icing on the cake, because we just have so much fun. So today the phrase is daydream believer, and what it's all about is when we're little children, we really do know how to. Hold on. Now you hear me twice. We really do know how to meditate, right? We're like little kids are born. They know how to daydream, to shut everything else down, to just be in that space of I'm not listening to the teacher. I'm not listening to the people around me. I am doodling. I am having fun, and that's what it's all about. And they're going into that space of imagination. Hi, Terry. Thank you for joining me. I'm trying to share out like a good girl for a few minutes. My technology, what is going on? Is it the full moon? Is that why the technology is being so weird today? Because I know that you had problems with it too. So let me share this a couple of times. I'm almost there. And then we're going to get into this daydream thing, because I feel like it's coming through, and it's beautiful. Today's going to be fun. I don't know how fun. I never know till I get started, but we'll see where it goes. It's good enough. I want to give you guys my attention. So, what are you guys doing? And what was your thank you for sharing, Terry? I appreciate all the help I can get. What did you do when you were a child, when you were in that boring classroom? And many of us, I really believe daydream believer. It came to me yesterday. My daughter was going through records, and she found the Monkees, and I was like, oh, my favorite song by the Monkees was Daydream Believer. Is that the name of it? Hi, Geraldine. So like we were talking about a couple of days ago, synchronicity, we have these things that like they pop up, and then the next day we go, oh, wait a minute. Well, that's what happened to me today as I was getting ready and kind of trying to get myself calm after a very busy night with lots of chaos. The thing that came to me was daydreams. What did we do? I've written about it before, because I do believe that children come into this planet knowing how to ground their energy. They sit in the dirt, they make mud pies, they play in the sand, they make sandcastles. And when they're in a classroom where they're learning things that really are very unnecessary to them in their life path, they shut it all down and they start doodling and they start daydreaming. And so it feels important. Thank you for sharing, Geraldine. Luann, you love that song. It's an awesome song. And I think that's what we are, as little light workers. How many of us spent so much time as children talking to those imaginary friends. Terry, I know you spoke to angels at a very young age. We all had these voices that were like whispering words of hope. I think my earliest whispers that I heard were from the trees. When I was really stressed out, I would just run away and I'd go out back and I'd lay down under the trees and I'd listen to the wind blow through the leaves. And I felt like, even at that age, I think I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, I felt like those trees were talking to me. And I knew that when I laid down on the ground, that suddenly I would feel better. I didn't know why. I had no idea what any of this was at that age. I didn't have any idea what any of this was when I was in my 40s even. It took me a long time to realize that all of these sensitivities weren't a curse, they were a gift. And so where we're going to today is, where were you? What were those things as a child? That's my question for you. What were those things when you were a child that you just instinctively ran to? You went to when you were feeling really, really down, or you needed some kind of support. You needed to hear the voice that was, here. Not you needed to shut this one down, this one that was kind of sad and hurting, and you wanted to get into here. What did you do? I know for me, music has always been a big one. If I could I used to sit by myself with I had a boom box, a small boom box, a cassette tape recorder. When I was really young, it was the 8-track. Do you remember that show that said Dynamite? And he had a little, like, it had a handle that you could change from songs to songs, but it looked like a little TNT box. I had that. It was an 8-track player, because I'm just that old. And I listened to old lady music when I was young. I was born an old soul, and I loved Barry Manilow and the Carpenters and the Monkees, and sometimes it was the Beatles. Yesterday. Man, when I was 7 years old, I listened to Yesterday. I had a little record player. It was before the 8 tracks even. I had a little record player, and I would just sit with it, and I would put Yesterday on, and I would listen to it over and over and over again. There was something about the sad songs that put me into my heart space, and I liked it there. I liked that feeling. So even as a very young child, well, really, as a young child, young children know. They instinctively seem to know that they need to get into that heart space and be still. Luann played make-believe with Barbie dolls. Me too. I think we've talked about that before. At my babysitter's house, I had Jane West, and I had all the horses. My sister and I did, and all the tack. J.J. Walker. Yeah, J.J. Walker with the Dynamite. Thank you for that. So we would turn the whole house into, like, I had a farm, obviously. I had a big ranch underneath the dining room table. And I had a friend that was all about the Barbie dolls and all the clothes and the makeup and all that stuff. And I was kind of a tomboy, so I did the Jane West, and we were out riding the horses. Sometimes her Barbies got to use my horses. Sometimes my Jane West style got to try on some of her pretty clothes. We cross over a little bit. It was fun. You could spend hours daydreaming, hours pretending. I remember my sister and I used to play this game. She was 4 years, still is 4 years older than me. And I was kind of the little tag along as a child. She had more freedom than I did. I would still stay at the babysitter's house, and she could go out with her friends. And every now and then she'd let me go with them. My mother would let her watch me. And they played some kind of game with a character in it named Beauregard. I can't even remember. I don't even know why that came to me. But the imagination, it was like we could go in and just completely imagine a whole different world. Chetta, thank you for joining me. What kinds of things? What did you do? What did you imagine? What made you come alive? Because it's so important. Terry, Angel, if you're still here, I don't know if you're staying with us, but I ponder a lot. I think a lot about those guides that were talking to us when we were little, our angels. We always had this inside of us, this aliveness, this wakefulness, even though we weren't fully aware of it. And children naturally have that. But I think for those of us who are light workers, it was like we were even that much more in tune, because we're old souls, because a part of us remembers. We remember our own greatness, even though we're not fully in tune with it when we're small. We get bullied a lot, we get mistreated, and we forget our own power. So today is all about, can we go back to that space? Can we go back into that space of imagination, of daydreaming? Let's all daydream together today. And I would love for those of you who are here with me right now to start to go into that space of your imagination. How deeply can we go today? We did it yesterday. The last couple of days have been really beautiful. Ever since I came back out the other side of that really big downer that I had last week, which wasn't near as bad as they used to be anyway, but it's like I came out the other side. And the energy is building so strong every day that it makes me want to cry, and it's happening again. So excuse me if I sit here with makeup running down my face again. There is this sense of a new energy. Excuse me, my sinuses are messed up. I'm crying today. It feels to me as if just by laying down my guard a week ago, just by saying, you know what, I can't keep comparing myself to everyone else. I want to sever and release anything that's holding me back, anything that makes me feel like I'm less than what I really am. Those people that make me feel small still, I have to let them go for a while. I can't spend all of my time thinking about what they think about me or worrying about, whether or not they're going to accept me. And when I started really working on that, it was like, wow. I laid it all down as much as I could, and I still, every morning in the shower, I'm like, all right, I'm Archangel Michael, my best friend, come in, whatever, I'm carrying stuff from my sleep, from my dream state. I might have picked up some things yesterday when I was out and about, or somebody may have said something negative. If there's anything inside of me today that is holding me to the ground, that's keeping me from flying, from finding my wings, please sever and release whatever it is that's holding me back. And wow, the more I do that, this energy that's hitting me every day when I start these is like so powerful, and it's so beautiful. And it takes me back to that little girl, that imagination. Oh, it was so much fun being little. Do you remember that? It was so much fun being little and being able to just without anything blocking it. Like nobody pulled me out of it. I could just go into this place, and I fully immersed myself in that game, in that imagination. And I remember how much fun that was. And I'm remembering again. So that's what we're all about today, these daydream believers. What was it when you were little that you would daydream about? And what was it that those adults or older siblings or whoever, what was it that they told you to stop believing? And what have you let go of that maybe you need to go back in and find again? Because it's very possible that those are the parts of you that you're lacking right now, that you're really searching for. You're like, oh, I'm hurting. Why am I hurting? Oh, that little child inside of me that used to have so much fun in life. She loved to just go out and get on a bike that was 2 times bigger than she was and just get at the top of the hill and just let it go. Let it go. And the wind blowing through my hair. And sometimes you even take your hands off the handlebars and you just like, ooh, down the hill. Have you ever done that? Where you just let go, you stick your feet out and your hands out, and that bike is flying and you got no control over it, and the wind is blowing in your hair, and you're like so free. What do you remember that feeling? Or being given that back? That's the truth of this new energy, this new earth that we're living on. We're being given back that joy, that bliss of just letting go on that bicycle and just flying and letting the world just fly on by without, you don't even care. I don't care that there's people all around. I don't care that there's distractions. I'm not paying any attention to that stuff. I'm all about just living and being so happy. My relationships change. I let go of those lower vibrational energies. I let go of the worries. I don't worry about what those people think about me. If they don't want to accept me, okay, it's okay. Guess what? I'm going to go on having fun. I'm going to go on riding my bicycle down that hill. You guys will catch up sooner or later. If you want to still put your training wheels on and stay back there, that's okay. I'm not going to judge you for being back there with your training wheels. Oh, but I want to fly. How about you? How about you? What did you do? I'm not seeing a lot of comments. I want to see. What are you doing to bring joy back in your life? Are you spending time with that little notepad? Give yourself a drawing pad. Give yourself some pens. Go to the store and get yourself some, or order them online if you're afraid to go to the store. Or dig them out of your stock. Dig out your crayons, your finger paints, your pretty pens that you can write your own story. Are you writing your own story today, or are you letting other people write the story for you? Who have you given your quill to? Are you going to create from your own imagination, from that inner child that's still so alive inside of you? Are you going to let that child come out and play and create a beautiful life? That's the question. And it's okay to say no, you're not ready yet. But if you are, it is time to absolutely find more joy than you've ever known before. And yes, that requires work. Geraldine, I'm so blessed to know you and to see how hard you're working, because it inspires me too to get back to work, to let go, to keep releasing, to keep working on those parts of me, those little injured parts that are like, that little child needs some work yet. She's squeaking a little loudly. Let me see if I can help her. You inspire me to do that, to get in there and do that inner work. So let me see how we feel today. Let me see how the energy is for just a few minutes. Let's see how we feel and where we want to go. Is there any place that any of you would like to go today? Is there a place that you used to go as a child? Maybe just an imaginary place. Because I can come up with a lot of imaginary places. My imagination is alive and well. I'm going to give you a chance, and if you don't want to, I'm going to come up with one anyway, and we're going to start imagining. We're going to do a meditation that is very much like the last couple of days, that is not anything like what you typically would consider meditation. There's no ums or anything like that. It is purely going to be daydream believers. Where do we want to daydream about today? Where do we want to go? We're going to daydream together. Let's see. Where would I like to go today? If I could go anywhere, where do I want to go? I loved Ireland. Oh my gosh, I loved Ireland. Do you know where we went to? My family history goes all the way back into William the Conqueror, and there is a castle. The Dudleys, the founder of Harvard University, is like my great-great-grandfather, and his family line goes all the way back into England, way back, and there is still a castle there named Dudley Castle. And so I think, unless you guys have a better idea, you're being very quiet, maybe I'm just not receiving, but I think that I would like to go to a castle today. I would like to be. It's funny, this morning we were talking before, when I first woke up, we were talking about names. And when I was little, my name is actually Diane with an E, like Anne with an E. And people would call me Diana often, and I was like, Mom, they called me Diana again. I hate that. And really, I'd always fuss about it. Now, the past couple of years, when people do that, it's like that name feels powerful to me. It's like I don't want to just be Diane with an E anymore. I feel like I'm embodying the Diana now. And when I say Diana, it's like there's energy. That feels good. I feel the energy of Diana. That's my name. So we're going to this place. Let me see what Luann has, because if she has a better idea, we'll go hers. Sure, hers was the local swimming pool. It says where I could be underwater. An underwater creature I wanted to be. I was mostly a dolphin. Ooh, beautiful. That's beautiful. We've done the underwater creatures, and those are always fun. Mermaids. You could be a narwhal. You could be all kinds of neat stuff. Can we go to the castle? that we started. Would you like to go to the castle? And Luann, the castle has a beautiful moat. And I want you to be that animal. If you want to be a dolphin in that moat, if you want to be an alligator, whatever you'd like to be. If you want to be a princess, if you want to be the king or the queen or the court jester. Court jester would be fun. This is a peaceful castle. There's no fear here. It's nothing but friendly, smiling faces in the courtyard, in the castle itself. Oh man, when I was little, I may have that book. I do. My grandmother, it's fun. I love how Spirit brings me these things. When I was little, my grandmother would read me Miss Tessie Tate, and it was all about, man, I'll have to, hold on. Look at her, Miss Tessie Tate. It was her favorite book, and I'll show you where I'm going. You see? It's all about the princess. Isn't it fun how when we were children, our imagination, because of these beautiful stories that our loved ones would tell us. My grandmother energy is here today. That's what I've been feeling. I want to go to that castle, that Miss Tessie Tate castle. And I feel you, Grandma. So let's do what we did yesterday for just a minute as we go into this. Princess works for me, Luann. Okay, let's be princes and princesses and kings and queens. Would you be willing to go ahead and share with us that loved one that you would like to bring into the circle today, whether living or past? If they're still living, we're inviting their Holy Spirit higher selves in. If they're past, we're just inviting them. If you feel them already, please welcome them to the circle. Let's put ourselves in that little healing circle today. We are in the classroom. And I want you to visualize that person that brings you comfort. My grandmother, which I already feel her presence with me, so we're going to bring Grandma Eleanor back in again, who loves to read beautiful fairy tales. She read to me so often as a child. She's the one that helped me to create the imagination that I have, because she was so good about reading the same stories over and over again. Grandma, please, please, this is the book that I want. This book right here was hers. She read this book to me as a child. I sat in her lap. It's autographed by a friend of hers who wrote it, and it read to all of my siblings and all of my cousins, and it's been read millions of times probably, and I still remember her thumbs holding this book, and I'm sure that's why I feel her presence here now. This was a beloved book, and it's poetry. It's written in poetry, which is something that she loves. So it was fun to read, and it was magical listening to her. And I want to go into that space of that sweet Miss Tessie Tate. She was a cleaner. The castle was dirty, and there was children, and the king and the queen could not keep up. There was so many people in the castle that were cooks and chefs, and they could not keep that. They could have so many, I should just read you the book, but they would have so many people in there trying to help them keep it clean that there was no room left for the kids, and the kids decided they were moving away. And so Miss Tessie Tate, they had a big interview, and they had everyone, all the people from the village would come, and they all wanted to work there in the castle. And Miss Tessie Tate wore roller skates, and so she was able to come in on her roller skates, and she was able to clean. There she is right there. She was able to clean their castle faster than anyone. So by having Miss Tessie Tate in the castle, all they needed was one person to clean, and suddenly the children had room to play again, and all was well. It was a very happy ending. It's a beautifully read book, or written book, and I wish I could still hear it in her voice, but I see her in me, so she's very special to me. So I hope that you will bring someone into your circle. You don't need to tell me who that is. Just visualize yourself with that person that you love so much. Welcome them. I welcome those who have passed before me, my ancestors, anyone that is here for the highest of good of all of the people that are gathered here. The Ascended Masters, any Ascended Masters that want to join us. I almost always feel Saint Germain, so Deirdre, no, Donna, my Aunt Janet who has passed. All right, let's bring Aunt Janet into the circle. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing her. And she is very welcome. And if there's anyone else, spoken or unspoken, bring them in. And if you have anyone that needs healing, you can ask them if they want to come in too. Ask the Holy Spirit self to come in and join us in this space. There is quite a gathering. I feel it. It's taking my breath away. We are being surrounded by ancestors, by loved ones. Breathe into it. I don't know if you can feel it, but I feel a very loving, so much energy around us, as if they're like just wrapping us in warm quilts, and they're making it a sweet little nap time. So we're going to go into our little rest time. I want you to just relax yourself for a few minutes. Feel that support. Feel that energy that's all around you. And make sure you breathe. Breathe, bring yourself into center. In, hold for a few seconds, and then count back down as you let it go. That's what brings us into center. Somebody is jumping rope, and I would like you to come back and sit down. I see a little girl in a little skirt with her little jumping rope. Which one of you is that? Come settle down with us for a few minutes. Let's use our imaginations. Let's daydream. I would like you to visualize yourself with a pad of paper in front of you and some crayons or markers, whatever you like best. It's okay. And I want you to start drawing your castle. Visualize the castle of your dreams. And this is all imagination. If you have a pad of paper and pencil and you want to draw, that's great too. But in your imagination, what would you put in your castle? What would be, what are those things that you want to gather? What do you want in that space? What makes you happy? I see a beautiful fountain. It's kind of funny. It's a funny, I see it's like the court jester is standing in the center of the fountain. It's a statue of somebody kind of funny. He's standing on one leg. He's balancing on one leg. He's got his arms up. He's like being really silly, and there's water coming out of his mouth. I have no idea where that came from, but he's funny looking, and I wish I could draw him better. But in my imagination, I'm drawing him. I hear the water as it comes through his mouth, and it's hitting the rest of the water. Can you hear that? Use your ears. Use all your senses. For just a moment, listen to what's in your imagination. Can you hear anything without looking, without feeling? Just listen for a second. What do you hear? Got some birds singing in my courtyard. I hear Miss Tessie Tate rolling around in her roller skates, cleaning. Swish, swish. She's swishing with her broom. She's cleaning and dusting. I hear my grandmother's voice as she reads to me. And I'm hearing water lapping up on the shore. Yeah. What else? Use your eyes now for a few minutes. What do you see? I see my grandmother's thumbs as she held the book in her hands. I see a spider. We always had spiders. She loved spiders. She knew that they were useful. She wouldn't let us kill them. She taught us to appreciate nature. I hear the wind in the leaves. And we're seeing. Let's see, what else do I see? Breathe. There's a gentle energy coming up. It's working its way from the base of your spine. And it feels like a remembrance. Remember Those things that you noticed as a child, church bells. I loved church bells as a child. I would lay down for a nap, and those church bells were comforting. So I loved the sound of that. And the clock's ticking. Shut up. Let's see. My mom and 2 sons and husband, perfect. Luann has my grandmothers, Sarah and Frances. Oh, I love grandmother energy. Thank you for sharing them. Angie, who do you have? Bring someone in the circle, Angie. We're imagining, we're using our daydreaming abilities, and we're at a castle, and you have your pad of paper and your pencils or crayons or markers, whatever you'd like. I want you to imagine yourself drawing the perfect little castle for yourselves. We're doing the royal queen, king, princess, prince energy right now. And we're bringing in whatever loved ones we feel want to come forward. We're allowing them to come into this healing circle. And I feel a beautiful presence, more than one, lots of teams of angels and guides. I have one guide named Tony, and I just heard his name, so I'm blessed to have Tony come forward. Breathe and relax. Enjoy those loved ones. Enjoy the sense that you are wrapped up and supported. Your little child can come out and play because it's very safe. And as you breathe in, if you have any memories come up that are unpleasant, that feel like, oh, I don't want to go there, it's okay to go there right now. It's okay to relax. It's okay to let those emotions fly. Just let them float right up to the surface. It's okay. It's okay to let them come up. They're not going to heal unless you bring them up. That little child, if she's bringing it up, she wants you to acknowledge, yes, that was painful. That was a tough experience. And then you can let it go. Okay? Just let it go. Luann, I'm smelling homemade chicken. Homemade chicken stew coming from the kitchen. That's my grandmother, Frances. Perfect. Oh, I love homemade chicken stew. Thank you, Grandmother Frances, for joining us. My grandmother smells like Charlie perfume. I think that was the name of it. She had this perfume named Charlie, I think. And she also always, just a few days after she died, making me want to cry. Her little place always smelled like toast. She always made breakfast for everyone, so it always smelled like eggs and toast in the morning when you walk into her place. It was beautiful to be in her space. She was very gentle, always watching out for us. She was the one person, I think, in my life that I knew that no matter what I did, she was going to love me. Totally unconditionally. She just loved. And she would sit and spend time with the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, my children. She babysat Ty when she was 80 years old. She babysat a newborn child for me. She knew I had a meeting or something, and she'd say, hey, I know you got something going on tonight. Can I come over and babysit? Would you like me to take care of the kids? And I'm like, oh, please do. Because my kids were so blessed. Abby never got to meet her, but the rest of them were so blessed to have her in their lives. So I feel blessed today to feel her energy coming through so strongly. It's like she wants to share herself with all of you today. She's come right through my third eye before. And that's where I'm getting all the pressure now. That's why I'm kind of crying. It's like, hello, Grandma, I feel you. What do you feel? Can you feel your loved ones around you? Have you taken time as you're in this little meditational space? What are you feeling as these loved ones are here? Brenda, my dad's hugs. You feel your dad's hugs. That's so beautiful. Nothing like a good dad hug. We've done a little bit of smelling and seeing. So what do you feel right now? What are you feeling as they gather? I'm feeling very emotional. Angie, I got Geraldine, my grandma's My grandma smells like flowers. Her favorite thing. Perfect. Did she have any favorite flowers? What flowers did she smell like? Did she smell like roses? Or what else has a honeysuckle? Smells really good. Lilac. Lilac smells good. Lavender. Angie's brought her mom. Thank you for your mom joining us. I feel her. How beautiful to allow them a space and a voice. This is where our imaginations, our daydreams truly take us. We give those who have passed. My imagination came so fully into fruition, into life when Steve passed. It was, wait a minute, what is that? Is that you? And my imagination was just, somehow we think that if we use the word imagination, that these senses, that this mediumship ability has less validity, and that's not the truth. The truth is that imagination is everything. So as your gifts are coming alive, you need to go to that place of imagination. Can you see them? Can you feel them? What do they look like right now? You have to get back into that childhood, that childlike innocence. That's where the true power comes from. She smelled like, Geraldine says she smelled like irises and daylilies. Very beautiful. Hyacinths. Perfect. It's beautiful. I smell flowers right now. She is so here. That's beautiful. If I could allow you to feel, if you can't feel your loved ones around you, I always wished I could write about it, what it felt like when I first realized it was Steve. What did it feel like? I've told people this before. It felt like he was literally coming up from behind me and wrapping me in a big bear hug, so tight that I couldn't breathe. And after a while I would have to say, let up a little bit, I need to breathe. At first I didn't. At first I was just like, you hold on, just hold on as tightly as you want to. It felt so good. And I didn't care if I survived it, honestly. I wanted to be where he was anyway. And I realized after a while, I was like, no, you gotta breathe. You gotta let him know. My grandmother, when she came through to me when I was the first time through here, not the first time I really knew it was, she came right through my third eye. It felt like somebody just blasted through my third eye with this big burst of love. But I was going 70 miles an hour down the road. And I had to say, okay, Grandma, I love when she's so here with me right now. I love when you're around me. I love to feel you. But please don't do it when I'm driving the car. Please, just sit quietly. As Abby used to tell me, Great Grandma likes to ride with us. She likes to take rides with us. I said she does, because Abby could see when she was little. She's still a medium. She just blocks it. She's like, Great Grandma likes to go with us in the car. and she likes to sit on the couch with me, or she had the cutest little way of talking. She was so open to her great grandmother. So when I say Abby was the only one of my children that didn't get to meet my grandmother, I'm completely wrong when I say that. Abby is my grandmother. That was what my grandmother told me when I was driving so fast. I said, thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with Abby. And she went, boom, I am Abby. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank you for that. Now let me pull over the side of the road and drink some tea and calm down. It was beautiful, and it was intense. Let's just say that. Cheryl Ann, we spent hours and hours weeding the flower beds and talking. That's so beautiful that you were able to share that with your mom. Or your grandmother, sorry. Hyacinths, yes, that's so beautiful. I can see you in that garden with your grandmother digging in the earth and her showing you just how to plant those flowers, just how to how to create beauty. She was teaching you more than just how to garden, wasn't she? Our grandmothers, I think that wisdom, they've been around longer. They've already gone through the parenting. They've gone through the hard stuff. And so, I'm sorry I'm crying. And so they have more patience and they have more empathy and understanding, and they see the value in getting their grandchildren out there digging in dirt and creating beauty, because those lessons come back to us as adults, don't they? We suddenly go, oh, you remember, oh, can I put myself back in that space of digging in the dirt, of feeling the earth energy, of creating something beautiful in the garden. We're creating our gardens, our creations every day. You are creating a beautiful garden right now in your life. You are planting seeds everywhere that you go. That's what Grandma wants you to know. You are planting seeds everywhere that you go. All of these people that are reaching out to you, that are coming to you, that you're reaching out to them, there's this tribe that's growing, and it's growing so fast. And all of these people are reaching and they're looking for those seeds that you're planting. And that garden is growing in the most beautiful ways. She wants you to know that your flowers, your garden is so, so incredible. And if you could only see it with your eyes, you would know that everything that you're doing is so important and so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful. Geraldine, that's for you. Your grandma wants you to know that. You're still growing a beautiful garden. It's more beautiful than anything that you can imagine. She can see it. And I got goosebumps. Thank you, Grandma. I feel like we're just sitting here in a circle of grandmas right now. I don't know if you guys are feeling it. Or our meditation just kind of was like, just be here today. Just be here. That's what meditation is. Just be still. Allow yourself to feel spirit around you, to feel your own spirit, to feel your own joy, to allow the soul inside of you to feel free, to feel alive, to know that there is no end to who you are, to who you will become, that you can continue to expand, that your soul never stops growing and learning, that you are absolutely more incredible, amazing. There isn't a word that can describe what you really are. We don't have it in human language. It's almost Mother's Day. That must be it, Luann. Thank you for reminding me. It is almost Mother's Day. And all of us mothers, and all of the mothers all of our mothers, and all of their mothers, and all of the mothers before that, it's time to honor that beautiful spirit. It's time to honor Mother Earth. It's all that mothering energy is incredible. You're welcome, Geraldine. What else is going to come through today? I feel a big energy. Breathe it in. It's right in the solar plexus. Actually, I've got it down in the belly right now. I don't know who's holding on to something right there in that belly, but that is, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Thank you. The belly to me, the second chakra to me is, there's creative energy there. There's that sexual energy. A lot of people will go to that. I go to the womb. I've carried 6 babies there. So, actually 8. I lost 2. So I've had a lot of energy, a lot of mothering energy in that space, in that womb area. Alyssa, thank you for popping in. I think you were already here. For some reason, it just gives me your name again. So that is the mothering energy to me. I always feel it in my second chakra, that womb. That's that place of safety, like we're being wrapped. Thank you. Yes, there's truth in that. Breathe. Breathe into your belly space. Know that you are safe, safely wrapped up as if you were in the womb, where everything is perfect, where all you're hearing is the heartbeat of your mother. And all is well. There's no fear there. There's just peace. You're coming into a new earthly plane, a new earthly suit, a new body. But the truth of who you are when you're still in that womb as your soul enters is still 100% on the other side. You still know everything about who you are and what you came here for. That little bitty tiny creator energy that is so expansive that it can create planets. That's you in that little womb space where you were so safe. The closest we can ever come to God is to hold on to a newborn baby on this earth. Do you believe that? It's like they're just filled with the energy of creation. And that's who you still are. And that's what the reminder is today, that you still are that energy of creation, that perfection. We call ourselves perfectly imperfect, imperfectly perfect, whichever way you'd like to. You are still that perfect little being. You got this suit around you, you're doing the best you can with it. Your parents did the best they could with what they had to work with, and so are you. And what we've got to work with these days is limitless. Absolutely limitless when you let go of everything. Let go. So I'd like for you, just for a few minutes, let's go into a quick meditation and let's practice letting go a little bit. We are completely supported. We're in a circle of loving energies. All of our loved ones are here with us. So we're at the castle now, and the moat is right there, and there's a bridge. And I want you to visualize yourself crossing that bridge with the moat underneath you. And we're going to stand. I actually had a dream when I did this once, not that long ago, and it was beautiful. I want you to just kind of climb up on the edge, on the rail. You're standing with your back. If you fall backwards, the water's going to catch you. You can close your eyes. And I want you to visualize, yes, we don't know what's down there. I promise it's a friendly kingdom, so it's okay. But it's dark, swirling water. And it's okay. It's perfectly safe, because when you let go, you're going to be protected. You will land gently. It'll be okay. So we're all at the same time. On the count of 3, take a big breath and go ahead and just fall backwards. And when you hit the water, you're going to hold that breath. And then when you're ready, you're going to let it go and come back up. Okay? We're going to do a big breath, get our lungs filled up with this. So on the count of 3, we're all going to fall. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Big breath and fall. Let go. I'm meeting you down at the bottom. I see some cute little alligators and turtles in the water. What do you see? You can breathe easy. Breathe it in. It's okay in this kingdom. You can breathe it in. So when you're ready, just go ahead and start breathing under that water. Look around. Tell me what you see. Geraldine, I see you sitting there playing Tea Party. Let's all join. Let's all get out our teacups. We'll just sit there and have a tea party. This earth energy, I see it coming up through the seaweed. I see plant life, and I see it reaching towards us. Just kind of reach out and touch it. Sit right on the bottom. Sit on a rock. Allow that earth energy to come up through your body. I feel it in the centers of my feet, and I'm letting it come up through. We're going to ground your energy perfectly right now. Let yourself just be connected to the bottom of that little body of water. Grow your roots there. Be the seaweed for a minute. Grow some roots. Let yourself just be planted. And I see you expanding so much that your arms are out, and there's energy coming out your hands, out of your body. You're like a glow-in-the-dark tree underwater. There's so much energy coming from you. Let your arms sway. You can pick up your arms and just let yourself just sway in the water for a few minutes. It's so good to do that. Swirl your arms around like in a figure 8 in infinity. Get yourself balanced. See yourself as that seaweed tree underwater. Plant life that's free. The water, there's a little current in the water, and it's letting you sway around, and you're feeling comfortable. Julie Kiss, I see you. I think you were here before it keeps popping back. Keep swirling. Let your energy flow today. Let it flow as you let go, as you release. And as you're releasing, Archangel Michael is coming along, and he's like, yep, I'll take that. I'll take that. It's okay. You don't need that anymore. Your loved ones are encouraging you. They're like, yeah, let that go. Let that go. I promise. You're going to feel better when you let it go. So whatever it is that's holding tension in your body right now, let your shoulders drop, sway your arms around, kick your feet a little bit if you want to, and allow negative energy, all of those unbeliefs, those things that you've been told that aren't true about yourself, let them go. You're gorgeous. You're perfect. There's nothing about you that creates any kind of unworthiness. You are totally worthy of joy and of peace and of a happy, happy life. All you have to do is be willing to let it in. So just let it in. Let that water flow through you. Breathe. A lot of heaviness down there in that solar plexus area, so just let it go. Let it go. Breathe it in. Relax. And sway. Sway with that current. I'm letting go of my insecurities today. That's my word. I'm letting go of my insecurities, those things that make me feel small. I'm letting them go. Even in my little child body, I'm huge, I'm powerful. I'm a creator. My imagination can create worlds, and so can yours. Be in that place of inner power. Let that little child, let her put on her cape, let her fly today. For him. And I feel the energy lightening up. So as it feels lighter, let yourself just float towards the top of the surface, okay? Let your body just come back up to the top very gently. And as you reach the top, you can open up your eyes and you can just kind of breathe easy and relax. And even if you want to float, let's float for a few minutes. Let's just lay on our backs and kick around a little bit and relax and have fun. Just for a few minutes, let your inner child just swim and have a good time. And don't forget to breathe. That's what keeps you more buoyant. Our loved ones have joined us. They're swimming too. There's youthfulness in them. They don't stay old and broken or sick. They're happy and healthy and joyful. So filled with life, more life than you could ever imagine. Oh, that was beautiful. I just felt a big old release. Thank you for that. And I'm feeling it out to see if there's anything else before we end this for the day. Let me see. Julie, I'm so glad you joined in. Julie, go back and get started all over again. Catch up to us, okay? Hope you're feeling well today, that those headaches have cleared. There are mermaids swimming by. Wow, Geraldine, that's great. I see those mermaids. Their little tails are splashing. They come up towards the top and they flip that tail and it splashes in your face and you giggle. You're so welcome. I want you guys to remember to take this with you today. You can always come back to this space. Letting go. Continue to let go. That's the reminder that it can be difficult. And sometimes we hold on to things like it's like if we let it go, our whole world is going to come crashing down. And that's just not the truth. You can let go of more and more of that ego, the parts of the ego that pull you down. You get to keep your personality, the part of you that is so beautiful. You get to be that person in this lifetime. That's okay. That's what they want. But holding on to the ego that's so protective, that's just so full of, don't do that. You got to hold on to that. Be careful of that. Watch out for that guy, whatever it's doing. You don't have to hold on to that little protector anymore. The ego can learn and can be recalibrated. Wherever that came from. The ego is being recalibrated to come into alignment with your higher self. There's a parallel energy going on. So sometimes the ego likes to be way over in left field someplace, playing with, whatever it's not supposed to be playing with, giving you a hard time. The idea of doing these visualizations, of meditating, of daydreaming, is to bring that ego, not to shut it down, not to keep it out in left field someplace, but to bring it back in. Say, come here, little ego. Come here. My higher self needs to have a conversation with you. We're going to get into alignment. We're going to be like this. By the time this is all over, the ego and the higher self will be right like this. They're going to be aligning. That's what's going on right now, is we're being recalibrated. The little egos are being taught, like little puppy dogs are in training right now. One last big breath, and so it is. We choose to be one with our own Holy Spirit higher selves today. As we go through the day, we choose to look towards that higher self part of ourselves, the God self, for answers. We look within instead of looking without. And we accept this gift of a higher energy, a new earth energy. And I am thankful. I'm thankful that all of you joined me here today. You are safe and protected and wrapped up in love, wrapped up in this air of protection. Right now, Archangel Michael is going around and giving you a perfect aura of protection around you, a bubble. And there are no pinpricks, there's no leaks. Nothing can get in that bubble unless you let it. Nothing escapes you. No one can take your energy. No one can take your power. You are protected and safe inside of that bubble. Have yourselves a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm glad you enjoyed that today, Luann. Angie, you're so welcome. Have an incredible day. Tomorrow is what, Saturday? We got 2 more days to Mother's Day. I will be back tomorrow at 9:30. I may be even more tired tomorrow than I am today because I think I got 4 hours of sleep last night by the time those girls settled down. Abby is thrilled to have her big sister. There's 16 years between those two, so her big sister is almost like another mother. So our house is filled with love right now. And more will be arriving today, so it'll be more chaos, but I'll still be here tomorrow. It's a happy exhaustion. It feels good to have my babies under one roof. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Donna, you're so welcome. Let's see. Yes, Julie, please watch it later when you need a break. You guys can rewatch this anytime. I hope that you know that Enlightened World Network has a YouTube channel, and I will post the link. All of these videos that I do, all of the coffee and conversations, all of the meditations, all of the shows that you see either on Enlightened World Network or on Enlightened World Living, are all being stored up there, and there's tons of them. It's better than Gaia TV, truly. There's so much that you can, anytime you want to go back, if you miss a day, I do a meditation pretty much every day, or an energy clearing, or whatever is called on, whatever I feel, whatever comes to me. And there's so many others. Terry does beautiful ones. Geraldine has her show on there. There's so many great shows. So if you're looking for some entertainment or some growth, soul growth, or for tribe energy, whatever you're looking for, I highly suggest that you go there and look it up and see what you can find. It's like a little playground. That's a big playground. Whatever you want's there. All right. I think that's the end. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow. Take such good care of yourselves. I love you. Bye.